Most people with anxiety constantly try to change how they feel, and they practice mindfulness, or they go to their doctors and get the latest drug trying to reduce their anxiety levels. But instead of changing how you feel, you might need to change what you are doing. Hi, my name's Barry Neale, and I'm an anxiety specialist at hypnosisessex.com, and I help people just like you overcome lifelong anxiety. And the first thing we need to work out, if you and I were to work together, is what is causing the anxiety. And for some people, it can be problems in their past. They could have had trauma or trapped emotions that they've held onto for many, many years and never really faced. And in that case, that's a therapy issue. Other times it could be something that's happening in the future and they need more resources so that they can get through that future issue much more easily. But for some people, it's neither of those things, and it's what's going on in their life right now that is the problem. And instead of focusing on changing how they feel, they really need to change what they're doing. Because here's the thing, negative emotions such as anxiety and depression and loneliness and anger, all those sorts of things, they're nothing more than warning lights on the dashboard of your car that are there to tell you there's something you need to pay attention to. And covering them over with duct tape or taking the bulb out, i.e. taking drugs, practicing mindfulness, trying to lower your anxiety, is not going to solve the real problem. The real solution is to change what you're doing, because the anxiety is often there for a reason, and it's there to tell you there's something you need to pay attention to. And the moment you pay attention to it, the moment you resolve that, the anxiety goes. And these situations, and they're not therapy issues, they're educational issues, or they're information issues, they're change of lifestyle issues that you need to do in order to bring your body back to a normal, relaxed state. So if this is you want to be looking at your life and thinking, you know what is causing this anxiety? Is there actually something that's making me anxious? And if that's the case, then maybe you need to make some changes. I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, I had a young woman phone me up and she said, I don't know if you can help me. I'm having really bad panic attacks. And I said, well, I'll try, but can you tell me, how long have you been having panic attacks for? And she said, 5 weeks. I thought, well, it's a very short period of time. That's pretty precise. What happened 5 weeks ago? And she said, well, my boyfriend moved in with me, but he's abusive. Now, my instant response was, I can't help you. And she said, well, why not? I thought you could help people with panic attacks. And I said, yeah, I absolutely can. But in your situation, those panic attacks, that anxiety is there to tell you, you need to make some changes because what you're doing is not working for you. So you need to get rid of your boyfriend. You need to get him to move out. And she said, yeah, but I love him. And I said, I know, but your body is telling you, you really need to make this change. Now, here's the thing. If I'd have accepted her as a client and waved my magic wand and made all the anxiety in her life disappear, would I have actually helped her? And the answer is no, of course not. She would now be okay with living with someone who's abusive to her. That anxiety was there for a reason. And this is so often the case. There's been studies done where about 80% of people are in jobs they don't like, and about 20% of those people are in jobs that they hate. And this can cause anxiety. Over the years, I've seen lots of nurses and teachers who are now really, really suffering with anxiety because of their jobs. And, you know, when they first started nursing, when they first started teaching, it was a really good career for them. They loved doing it. But now that's changed and different things have been imposed upon them, which is creating anxiety for them and stress on a daily basis. And they're dreading going in, and their body's telling them, don't go in. And it's what's creating the anxiety. So sometimes you need to have a cold, hard look at what's going on in your life and work out whether it's that is causing the anxiety. Because if that's the case, that's not a therapy issue. You need to change your life. And, you know, pretty much we've all had situations like this I don't know about you, but I certainly have had situations in my own life where I've been in a relationship for longer than I should have been, and I know damn well I shouldn't be in that relationship anymore. But the thought of leaving that relationship gave me a certain amount of anxiety, and I kind of built it up in my head to a point where the anxiety was getting stronger and stronger. But then one day something happened and it pushed me over the edge, and I made the decision to get out of that relationship. And at that point, the anxiety dropped. Because oftentimes it's a conflict that's the problem. So have a look at your life. Maybe the anxiety is not a therapy issue. Maybe it's not going to be solved with drugs or mindfulness. Maybe it's just going to be solved by you changing something. So my goal for this video is for you to have a good hard look at your life and ask yourself some difficult questions. Because it could be that there's something happening in your life that is causing the anxiety. And it could be that you're in the wrong job. It could be that you haven't got the right set of skills that you need. It could be that you're not preparing enough, because the anxiety is often there for a reason. Another example is I often work with people with public speaking anxiety, particularly in business. And sometimes people get promoted to a point where they now got to do presentations in front of big groups of people. And this can be a really scary thing for a lot of people. And if I ask those people, so how would you like to be instead? Oftentimes they'll say, I'd like to be really calm. Now I have to tell you, as someone who does a lot of public speaking, you don't want to be really calm when you're doing a presentation. Anxiety is often there for you to prepare. So if I wave my magic wand again and suddenly I'm working with someone and I remove all their anxiety about doing public speaking, and now they've got to do a presentation in front of 500 people, and it's a really important business presentation, and yet they're so calm and relaxed they don't even prepare, how do I help them? And again, the answer is no, because the anxiety is there for a reason. So I want you to think of anxiety in many cases as nothing more than a warning light on the dashboard of your car, that there's something that you need to pay attention to. And the moment you pay attention to it and deal with it, then the anxiety goes. So just have a cold, hard look at what's going on in your life. Is this a therapy issue? Is your anxiety because of things that have happened in your past, like traumas or emotions such as guilt or shame or remorse and regret? Is it about something that's coming up in the future that you're anxious about? Or is it what's going on right now? And if it's what's going on right now, then you don't need pills. You don't need drugs. You don't need mindfulness. You don't need therapy. What you need to do is to make some changes. Now, if you need any help with that, then give me a call. My details are in the bottom, in the description. But for most people in this situation like this, you just need to make that change yourself and the anxiety will go. But if I can be of any help, because sometimes people need some encouragement and they need some confidence to make that decision. And that's something I can help with. But a lot of times it's just about you making a decision. So I hope you like this video. If you do, remember to like and subscribe. And if you need any help, you can contact me at hypnosisessex.com.